This live stream is for the people who commented on MSN, about that brave man, and how there aren't enough people doing what those brave people are doing. Please, will you listen to this recording? This is a recording. The Sergeant Simmons told me to purchase a dictaphone to record antisocial behaviour, and then I was arrested for doing it. It's a recording of my 999 call after, and you can hear the person threatening to beat me up. I'm here for my safety. I'm in the home of someone, I can't obviously say who, but I haven't met this person. Please listen to this.
Because I swear down, I will come up there and I'll bet you senseless. Dirty little bitch. I'll bet you, Dory. Brian, I'm not fucking joking. I'm not fucking joking with you.
Let me just play it again.
Because I swear down, I will come up there and I'll bet you senseless. Dirty little bitch. I'll bet you, Dory. Brian, I'm not fucking joking. I'm not fucking joking with you. Please. I'm fed up with this. I've just been on the phone to 101 and gone into the bathroom, and the woman next door to me has threatened to beat me up. Yes, I've just come out of my room to go into the bathroom, and I've recorded her threatening to beat me up. I've just gone into the bathroom, for crying out loud. This is ridiculous. I've just recorded 101 call handlers saying to me she hasn't been harassing me, she's just threatened to beat me up. I've just gone into the bathroom. Yes, but I've just gone into the bathroom to have a bath and she's threatened to beat me up. How can I function? I've just gone upstairs to go to the bathroom. Her partner, she's got a man in her room who came into my room. I'm not feeling safe, for crying out loud. I've locked myself in the bathroom. I've just come up to have a bath. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I've just recorded. I've just come up here to have a bath. She's threatened to beat me up. She said, I'm not effing kidding. I'm going to beat you up. I've come up here to have a bath. I'm fed up with this. Okay, I'm trying to stay calm. Oh, God, I can't do this. I can't do this. I've locked myself in the bathroom. I'm scared for my life. Just about 5 or 10 minutes ago, I've come up here to go into the bathroom, and she called out at the bottom of the stairs. I'm tiptoeing around, and she is threatening. She's constantly threatening me. Constantly. I'm in the bathroom. I've just locked myself in the bathroom. like, yes. I was told by a 999 call handler when the man came into my room to call 101, and I've done that. And now I've come up the stairs and I'm ignoring her. I'm constantly ignoring her, but she's threatened to beat me up. I can't do this. How can I supposed to put up with this in my own? Sorry. I'm in the bathroom. I'm trying to keep my voice down. I'm shaking. She just banged on the door. Someone's just banged on the door. I'm in the bathroom and someone's banging. I can't put up with this. I think it's the one in room 5 is thumping. I said to next door that if I felt unsafe that I would use my panic alarm. Yes. And I got someone from room 5, from room 5. There's an investigation over her assault. She's thumping the bathroom. I've come in here to have a bath. Stop banging! Someone's banging the bathroom door. Someone's just banged the bathroom door. Look, you're gonna have to get someone out here now. You're gonna have to get someone out here now because I'm being terrorised. Yes. Someone's just kicked the bathroom door. Can you please get someone here, please? Because I am being terrorised in my own home. Yes, and I've just come up here to have a bath. I've come up here to have a bath quietly, and I've been threatened with violence, and there's someone who's kicked the bathroom door. I need someone here. This has happened previously. Please, can you get someone out? Please. I can't put up with this anymore. There's an investigation over the assault from the woman in room 5. Yes. The one who threatened me was the woman in room 1, and the one that's just kicked. I don't know who just kicked the door. But the woman in room 5 assaulted me on the 28th of March in a drunken state, and there's meant to be an investigation over this. I'm telling you that any minute now I'm going to pull the cord on my panic alarm. She's outside. She's outside. Please, will you get someone here now, fast? Get someone here now, fast, please. I can't put up with this. They're doing this to me, and they know that I suffer with anxiety. All right, please, would you get someone here, fast? Please, because I don't want them to hear me like this. I've come up here quietly to have a bath, and I can't. I've already been attacked while I've been in the bath back in November. I swear to you, I'm going to run out into the street. I'm going to just... This woman in room 1, Carly Bishop in room 1. Please hurry up, please. please. She's kicked my door before. I've been several times. I've had this. Please, please. Please, hurry up. I don't know what they're capable of. Please, hurry up. I've got to get out of this place. You never help me when I need you.
Wait till you hear what I'm about to say. Here I am,
Police, no, I don't do
999 call, terrified for my life.
or do these things.
Wait till you hear what I'm about to tell you, what they did.
I've been ignoring her.
These cowards who are meant to pay to protect us, the public.
And you wonder why I get then suddenly blow up. And that's anxiety, that's trauma.
Okay, I'm not going to play, it's quite a long recording, but as you can hear at the start of the call, you can hear the perpetrator threatening to beat me senseless, a raging alcoholic on a tag. And I spoke to the people, the company who put her on a tag, and they just said, make notes. That was at 3 a.m. on the 29th of April last year. That's my 999 call. You can hear how terrified I am. This is not a prison. This is council accommodation in the UK. And I've got damning evidence that members of the council know that criminals, protected criminals, are being put in these places. And our police are targeting vulnerable people like me. Juliet is my witness, who was attacked in the streets for trying to help me by random drunks. She's a visitor to the Riverbourne house, and I've recorded them complaining as well. I was served an antisocial behaviour order. You couldn't make this up. A section 40 something. Why? Because I went across the road to the Riverbourne house where my crucial lady witness, her friend, lives. Her friend is a retired occupational therapist who gave me, I did stand out like a sore thumb because I wore a coat and a hat over my dressing gown. The police kept arresting me on frauds. I have been attacked several times. I've had my bedroom window smashed. That is council accommodation. The CEO knows about it now. The CEO of this town council now know. All members of the council complicit in my failings. I am currently in the home of someone I haven't met. I have not officially had their permission to stay here because it's my partner's friend. There have been emotional abuse issues with my partner, and I'm being told by experts in domestic abuse that I'm not safe here either, because my partner is, quote, a predator, because he took a caring role through Care for the Carers and he's emotionally abused me. Who gave him the caring role? None other than Caroline Ansell, my local MP, who's been complicit in my failings, but gave my partner a caring role. And he was arrested and he was banned from visiting me in the hospital. And I'm lumped in with criminals as a vulnerable, law-abiding citizen who's had my civil rights and human civil liberties and human rights. And at 6 a.m., 3 hours after I recorded this vile creature threatening to beat me senseless, I was arrested, terrified, in my pyjamas and my dressing gown and my slippers, and I was taken to Brighton, released onto the streets in my pyjamas and my slippers and my dressing gown. No paperwork, no court papers, nothing. It was a fraud, kangaroo court. I've got plenty of recordings. The Sergeant Simmons told me to purchase this. And I was one time, separate to this, arrested for doing what he told me to do, which was to purchase this. The neighbourhood policing team, the NPT, were meant to come out within 2 consecutive days of my having my bedroom window smashed. They've beaten me. They've dragged me into St Mary's House in handcuffs. This is the building that failed me and my elderly dying mother. My middle sister worked for them. Would they treat my sister well because she's had a sex change and she buys into the LGBT agenda? Because she worked for Shah and therefore she's also had the sex change. Who suggested the sex change? Because I had a locum tell me, Dr. Inez Cameron said to me and my partner that me and my middle sister need trauma-based therapy, what the Vietnam War veterans had. And what are they doing? They're lumping me in as a law-abiding citizen with criminals. Hashtag the supported and temporary living scam. And the psychiatric unit mental health scam. It's all a scam. Here's an article of me for all those of you from MSN or you genuine people. I'm talking about the genuine ones who want freedom of speech. This was me nearly 20 years ago, 2003, I think it was. Brave Bryony Battles On. That's when I did care work. That was when I did care work with the elderly. And I was bullied when I did care work with the elderly. I was bullied at school. I was bullied on Christian camp. I was bullied on Guy camp. That's the institution. Anyone who knows about the Tavistock Institute of Human Relations, where Jeanette Archer claims to have been tortured, the Committee of 300, that's where our police and social services get their training. So we've gone from this 26-year battle to get help with mental health. The local Herald paper last year slandered me, saying I beat the ones who beat me on Beachy Head. And it was orchestrated because I had 101 call handlers terminating my calls, and I'd already had an apology from the Professional Standards Department for doing this to me. So I want this to go wider out there because I'd like to be brave. Before I ever even contemplate jumping off those cliffs, I want to be on the streets like a lot of these people, brave people with a what do you call it? One of those things. What do you call them? I've forgotten what they're called. What are those things called? Because I've promised myself that while I'm still here, you know, they've tried to break me because they're cowards, because there are no real men and women alive today. Oh, by the way, I've also had a letter from a nutcase on this side. Well, I haven't, and I don't know if my partner's orchestrated it. The people who are experts in domestic abuse are saying, oh, you're not safe with him, he's a predator, just because he's worked on the chaplaincy team. You've got pillars in the community who will abuse their partners behind closed doors, and you're not safe with him. Well, why give him a caring role? Why have the local MP, Caroline Ansell, on the 21st, Wednesday, the 21st of October 2020, I could be here forever going over all the old stories that I've gone over and over and over again on my channel. I have been for hours on the phone to the local government ombudsman, and I've got a reference number from that date, from that week commencing. I've been for hours. I'm physically and mentally drained. My physical health is taking its toll. That's why a social worker landlord said to me 13 years ago in supported accommodation, you might want to check you haven't inherited your mother's cancer. And he said to me, you know too much, and said to her, oh, at least I'll get a good pension out of it. And she was talking him up, saying it's wonderful what you do for these people. And when she realised, because I couldn't tell her too much, I couldn't tell her that I was going up to Beachy Head suicidal. I didn't realise that I was a victim of child abuse until, was it a few years ago? When I was a baby, absorbing the violence between my parents because it was normalised, because I was middle class. And I've only learnt up until my late 30s, and now I've turned 40, and now it's all come together now. So this is where I'm at, okay? I am currently in the home of someone I haven't met, a 26-year battle with the mental health services. And I've got so many horror stories. There is no one to turn to. I was telling Juliet that this woman hung up on me yesterday. She can't understand. So the woman prior to that is saying you're not safe there with your partner. He's a predator. So just because he's got a Hebrew Aramaic scriptures and works on a chaplaincy desk and so sweet and wonderful, and you don't know what he's saying to the police because he's had you arrested and you can't go into his flat. Second woman, they didn't call me back at 11 a.m. The second woman is saying to me, you couldn't make this up. You could not make this up. This is why my mum should have stayed at sea in the 50s and 60s. She came back to England to be with my father, who was violent. And then we were fleeing him and came down here by the sea, where everything's shit in terms of trying to get help, as I've learned, unless you're a criminal. Anyway, stick to the point. So the solicitor that I reported to the legal ombudsman wanted me to plead guilty, even though I was defending myself by digging my nails in because the police, I'd had enough of them beating me, throwing me to the ground during welfare checks. And this was on our world famous suicide spot. She wanted me to plead guilty so that I could get a housing officer to help me with housing, even though the council have illegally discharged duty to me. And on MSN, we're getting all the stories about illegal immigrants flooding in, claiming asylum through racketeering because they're not actually asylum seekers. They're mostly men coming in. I won't say which country, because even though it's not racist, because this is not about race, this is about people, individuals coming in illegally. We're not talking about race. I wish to God my mum had stayed at sea. This is what you get for asking for help with trauma and mental health over a 26-year period. Here I am, brave Bryony battles on. There you can. I'm looking quite well, aren't I? Bryony McCarthy. There you go. Bryony McCarthy. There I am at home. My adamant t-shirt. There I am at home. I did care work. I've never worked harder in my life than when I've been on severe disability premium. There you go. Thousands of pounds in benefit. Now, Leslie, the food bank advocate, she said to me, oh, you'll be rich by the end of this. Rich! Rich, my ass. Thousands of pounds has gone on hotels to keep me from sleeping rough. I only had to complain about bed bugs crawling on me and antisocial behaviour. Fraudulent Section 184s. There you go. If you're a criminal in this country, you're protected. Work for the police, become a Freemason, become a Luciferian, sell your soul. A lot of people think they're Christians and they has Saviour, Yeshua HaMashiach, if he's coming back, if he is, and he will say, go for I never knew you. A lot of people are going on a fast track to hellfire. On the 7th of October last year, I went down to Eastbourne police desk to say that I'd had enough of being attacked in my own council home and that I would be returning with my lady witness Juliet, who was attacked in the street by random drunks because I was calling out to members of the public for help. She's going through cancer treatment right now. She's been with me to adult social care. The lies that have stacked up are unbelievable. Unbelievable. And you lot think you can sleep at night, do you? You don't know what's going to hit you. You really don't. Call it karma. What goes around comes around, as Adamant sang. Call it what you like. Call a spade a spade. I'm still here. I'm still here. You wouldn't survive 2 minutes in my shoes. I lost my mother. We were so close. We were like that. She'd be 84. We were so close. She cried for me. And now I see why, because she had a feeling I'd be exploited maybe. But this is off the scale. I just can't. This is really off the scale. My grandmother lived through 2 world wars for this. Do you call this freedom? Guys, do you call this freedom? And what are you lot doing? So if you want to leave some troll comments, your thumbs down and my thumbs up, as Andy Devine said. And even he let me down. Where was he? Where were you, Andy? You think it's okay to call a vulnerable woman a C word? Well, you're no different to them then, are you? You're just as bad as them, licensees. It's cowardly. And then you call me strong, like Tina Chave. Where's Tina Chave in all of this? The Independent Network. Police abusing powers, police abusing my ass, Dan. I've got a recording of you, Dan, from Police Abusing Powers, saying I won't tolerate bullying, and you're saying that to me. I won't promote anybody who I don't think would be able to help you, Bryony, one woman vigilante. And Tina Chave is saying I've got a recording of her saying I've got charitable rights organisations on standby, QCs. These people can help you. You shouldn't have been put in these places. And you can't take legal action against this because it's all in the public domain anyway. It's on Dan's channel. She rang in to say I'll be able to help you with all these things and then decided not to. And then said, you're strong. I rang her in distress over my partner. And because of these trolls, these idiots on YouTube, you'd rather listen to those trolls than listen to... I am amazed. I'm in the home of someone I haven't met. I've attempted suicide in the home of someone I haven't met. I've now had to privately record conversations on my laptop, including a 101 call handler who said, I will help you with the domestic abuse thing, and terminating the call on me. And I never heard back from her. And then there was a male police officer, and a moron, of course, who I didn't record it, but he was like, what, so your partner fell asleep and that's not abuse? And then he hung up. But another 101 call handler said, oh, hang on a minute, he switched off his phone and he's supposed to be letting you back into the flat and you haven't got a key because he wouldn't let me have the keys. That's abuse. So they're saying one thing and then doing another and hanging up on you, and nobody's doing a bloody thing. So I've got experts saying, I'm in the flat of someone I haven't met, and your partner's a predator. You're not safe with him. We've had a letter from next door complaining about the arguing between us. Some nutter who was banging on the wall the kitchen when there wasn't any arguing going on, and I'm here for my safety because, and guess what, the locks were changed again. My staff, I've been self-funding hotels with thousands of pounds of severe disability. Tina Che from the Independent Advice Network's done nothing. I've been suicidal here. I've had it all. Oh, by the way, here's a note from one of the patients on the ward. 3 years ago, before I was arrested out of there? And she said this is Sussex Partnership, who are guilty of suicides, a murder. There's so much corruption against Sussex Partnership. Just look them up. Look up the reviews on Trustpilot. Mine's up there as well. 100% bad. Even staff have complained about bullying in Sussex Partnership. They work with Sussex Police. They're corrupt. It is corruption. It is chaos. The people that I met in there, not just John Alexander Patterson, a victim of satanic ritual abuse, a Freemason had put in there, a woman, a Jehovah's Witness elderly woman who'd been trafficked there. This is my freedom of speech. I've got freedom of speech. If you want to attack me, whoever you are, I don't care. I'm not part of any group. This is my dear diary. This is my documentation, my corruption. Get a life, get a grip, grow a pair. Instead of attacking people, get off your ass and get out there. I did my bit a long time ago. My mother was proud of me for holding down care work for a number of years. And I've learnt that I'm a victim of child abuse and trauma. And I was bullied when I did that work. And unlike my sister, I haven't had a sex change. No. Me speaking my truth is one of the greatest things and one of the most attractive things a woman can do, according to some psychology videos I've seen. What you see is what you get with me. And I'm now really, really more than ever speaking my truth, even if my voice shakes. And that's what the trauma is doing. It's either going to make me or break me. I'm already broken. I've been broken. I had some creep who'd been married twice come to my mother's funeral, then physically and mentally abuse me. Oh, and use the tears, the crocodile tears. I physically couldn't eat, couldn't cope, and I used adamant as a form of escapism. And like most of the fans, because that's what idolatry is, if you know what I'm talking about. That's a way, it's a coping mechanism. And Adamant wrote to me in 2003. He made a documentary for Channel 4 documenting his demons. And there's a much deeper, darker underbelly to that. And I'm not going to go into that for the sake of MSN. But anyone who knows a lot about Adamant will know about that stuff, like this person who's exposed the music industry. But yeah, Adamant wrote to me, and Stuart Goddard. But my golly, this is off the scale. This is off the scale. The Herald paper put it in there that I beat emergency workers. You could not make this up. A couple of morons. It was all orchestrated. I'd been for hours on the phone to the local government ombudsman. I'd emailed Caroline Ansell MP, who's I've got her emails. She has failed me very seriously, just like the other MPs and members of the council. And I'd emailed the manageress of that particular hotel. It had already been in the paper that homeless people were being sent from Hastings and Brighton and criminals. And those of us who are law-abiding, vulnerable people were put in those places with dangerous criminals and antisocial people. Those of us, I lost my mother to cancer, for crying out loud. Temporary, and the lady, the food bank advocate, Leslie, who said I have undiagnosed OCD and all this, she said that temporary accommodation, this is temporary accommodation, I can't say which one, for the purposes of, but someone, landlord, who is in it for his own pension. This is, what do you call it, social enterprise. They're doing it on the NHS. You guys have got to fight for your freedoms or stay asleep and brainwashed, or just be a troll. Or you want to be a troll? You want to just put something nasty under the live stream? You're an idiot. You will perish faster than anyone else. Get off your ass. Do something. Do something. I can't because I'm so ill. I've been pushed down and pushed down and pushed down by jealous, narcissistic, little infantile idiots who've taken my trust. They've taken it. And yeah, so I honestly despair. I absolutely despair. But there we are. What can I say? So it's costing millions of pounds a day to put up illegal. There being some of these hotels that I've self-funded with severe disability back pay, thousands of pounds. Those hotels have now been closed down and they're being used for them. I've slept rough on the edge of Beachy Head, and I've had a nurse say to me, "Oh, now, Bryony, are you just saying that? Or are you really suicidal?" Oh, my gosh, they sound like big babies. All of them. Where are the grown adults? Where are they? Where are the people with sense? My mother would be 84, and I tell you what she said to me is ringing so hard in my ears. My late mother's words. She'd be 84, and this is what she said: "People in this country moan, but few have the balls to stand up." My mother was the only brave person to stand up in my Catholic church. I'm 40 now. I was a child, and she spoke out against what the PTA was saying about my perverted headmaster. And I'm not afraid to say that. I wanted the ground to swallow me up. I sank into the pew. But she got up. The silent majority, she was. On the quiet, they were saying, "Well done for what you've done." We're attacking her. Sorry, a mistake. A small number of people attacking her, but the masses of the silent majority, sorry. The silent majority, one woman, a woman who used to do playground duty, an Irish woman, said to my mother, "You should get a medal for what you've done." Yeah, and she did the same up in London at the fox hunting protests. Those psychopaths, those Luciferians who wear blood red jackets. Because they wear blood red jackets because they love their blood sports. They love killing and murdering animals. And as I've now learnt from Jeanette Archer, children. Those poor foxes, those poor innocent, and it's the animals that I ridicule them. She died of a rare cancer. This evil world has lost my mother, but it's still got me. I could use some very bad language. I could get very angry, but there's no point because those cowards know who they are. They know who they are. And I'm looking at some of them who watch me. They know who they are. And as long as I'm still here, I've got Juliet on my side. Yeah. And I'm going to finish on that note. And I hope that people from MSN will watch this and appreciate it. What I'm getting at anyway. Because it's made me just got something off my chest, if nothing else. Just to say, on my last video, Angie Power Disney, I took away my heart-like comment for you because you never actually apologized for trolling me and making. You said something about dressing gown disclosures. I'm that ill that I haven't been able to look after myself, okay? You're talking to someone who got criticised by a social worker landlord for going around looking like $1 million. And what the fuck were you doing up on Beachy Head drunk and all that rubbish? And now you're seeing me filthy, dirty, greasy in a dressing gown, tired. And I'm using what little energy I have to get these words out. And I'm happy with that. But you never apologized for mocking me, calling me what an energy vampire. How what talking about my own experiences of narcissism and people attacking me, and you were one of them. Just like this Yolanda Kenwood, when I was very polite to you, and you said stop effing hounding people, and Yolanda Kenwood said that you responded to comments under my live streams. How nice, how very polite of you. That makes sense. But there we go. This is you know, people are allowing their minds to get infected, and I'm exposing the corruption, and you should know better, because right now as we're speaking, John Alexander Patterson, I can't comment too much, but from what I saw a man of 71 whom the Ministry of Defence had shoved into the psychiatric documents, and he'd been to the Royal Courts of Justice. And I had also contacted 2 BBC Panorama producers, including Yasmin Yehudi, and I've still got their numbers, about psychiatric abuse. And guess what? Housing officer didn't turn up on the 13th of June that year, 2019. July, I met John Alexander Patterson, whom Sussex police were out of their jurisdiction, zoomed him down from London, either outside Scotland Yard or the Royal Courts of Justice, down to the psychiatric unit. And he said to how did I get talking to John Alexander Patterson? I was in the canteen queue saying that I had contacted 2 BBC Panorama producers who were making a documentary about psychiatric abuse. But the thing is, he's also exposing the BBC. So that's why he's in there. And that's why now, apparently, he's back in prison, or he's back in a psychiatric unit being doped up on poisons as an assassination attempt by the Freemasons said. So there we go. And as John Patterson said, what are you doing about it? To those of you who attack us, what are you doing? Because you got nothing better to do. You trolls out there, you sit on your asses because you feel so bad about yourself. At least I am doing and saying something. I've never known. I've gone to the very people who are paid to protect me and help me for help, and they've both physically and mentally tortured me and put fraudulent fraudulent information on paper and on the system. Slandered me. So there we go. I'm in the home of someone who's a solicitor. Maybe I should ask for their help. But then I'm in a vulnerable position because my partner's been emotionally abusive and it's his friend. But he's saying that her late father was a lawyer to the Nigerian government. Well, in Tesh, the senior nurse practitioner, was a coup in his African country, but what did he do to help me and Darren? It was a Freemason who said to me, and he did the Masonic hand gesture for kings because he said he was a coup in his own country. What have these people? Anyway, there we go. I told Dan from Police Abusing Powers this. So why didn't you help me, Dan? That's it. I'm trying very, very hard to hang in there and not do myself any harm. And I don't really want to make my lady friend ill with stress. Thank you very much. Because at this rate, as that creep, that social worker, landlord, cretin, bastard, who said you might want to check you haven't inherited your mother's cancer. Yeah, this is how people get cancer. This is how people get dementia. This is how people get Alzheimer's. My mother briefly lost her memory and didn't know who my sisters were. I was spared seeing that. I was spared seeing her with tubes up her nose, apparently. And what did they do? They forced me to sign a homeless application form out of supported accommodation. They've done nothing but lie. And if they can do this to a vulnerable woman and everything they're doing to children, everything I'm hearing about, the trafficking, the sex, everything, the world is coming to an end. When I was a child, I didn't want to bring a child into this world. I haven't had children. My late mother had an illegal abortion in 1958. Oh, I thought people were rosy and squeaky clean back then. No, nothing new is under the sun, as the Bible says. It was by a male prostitute in New York, and it was a cop in New York that took my mother under his wing. My mother had a privileged upbringing during the war. She brought me up extremely well. All I've done is ask for a little bit of help, and they've slandered me in the Eastbourne Herald. The Eastbourne Herald. This must have been, I don't know, I think it must have been the Seaford Gazette. Brave Bryony battles on. There I am at home. Eastbourne Gazette, Eastbourne Herald have slandered me within an inch of my life. The first time was 2018 when they said I had gone AWOL from the psychiatric unit. They contacted my estranged father. I paid £45 to the Salvation Army to find my father, whom I have not seen for 28 years. And he said, Sussex police have contacted me. Is this attention seeking? Now, my father won't admit to the violence on his part. But this is why we had to get away from him. This is where my trauma issues come from, my PTSD, which has been added to by Sussex police. They arrested my partner, who took a caring role, which for the MP, Caroline Ansell, suggested, yet he was arrested by the police in his own flat for being emotionally abusive. But Sussex police have been part of those beatings and arrests. And it's not just happened to me, because Dan Saxby from Brighton Housing Trust said to me, go to the local government ombudsman for compensation, because they are doing this to a lot of vulnerable people. The mental health scam in the UK. Whilst criminals are protected, those who admit to mental health issues are being fraudulently made homeless. These are serious crimes against humanity, and members of the council do not have the balls to do anything about it, because I've got a ward review recording from August 2019, and Councillor Robin Maxted is complicit in this. Excuse me for exposing myself like this. I'm not well. I haven't really not really looking after myself. But this was a member of the council, Councillor Robin Maxted, said to me and my partner Darren in his flat, they cannot release her with nowhere to go. And what did they do? They did. John Robinson, the housing officer, didn't turn up for the appointment. He's a housing officer on the 13th of June. A month later, I met John Alexander Patterson, who's put in the hospital on an assassination attempt. He said to me, there are people in here who shouldn't be in here, me being one of them. I shouldn't be in no one should have to be in a psychiatric unit unless they really, really have to be. They're going to be used as FEMA camps, if they're not already. I don't take medication. They wanted to suggest that I suffered with psychosis because I put up a protest at being dragged into St Mary's House in handcuffs. Because I'm in pain. I'm bereaved. We can't help you unless you take injections, said Dr. Baginski. What? So I don't take pills, I don't take anything. So the police dragged me in there. 4 months later, I'm arrested out of there. And in that damning ward review recording, they're offering me help. The doctors, the ward manageress, another one who left her job, Jackie Lake. And yeah, I was arrested in handcuffs, in hospital pajamas, out of there with nowhere to go. And in that ward review, I said, you cannot go against what a member of the council has said. Councillor Robin Maxted said they cannot release me with nowhere to go. And I've got it recorded. The ward manageress is going against a member of the council. Under common law, these are serious crimes. She said, yes, we can. And they did. So there we go. You speak the truth. It's the most dangerous thing you can do in this country. This wonderful, rich country with a queen that's sitting on pots of gold, trillions of pounds somewhere stuffed under her ass. Anyway, there we go. Freedom of speech. Fight for it. Fight for it. We've still got it, but it's being taken. Do you want to live in a Nazi state? Do you want that? Do you want that? Because that's where it's, well, I think we're already there, aren't we? Because the last 6 years, I've had all this police brutality and detaining and confusion and what the hell is going on. Not one person has helped me. No friends, no family, nobody. But it's on here. And they're all going to know about it. It's out there. It's in the public domain. I think I've said enough. I've gone on quite a bit. I'm obviously very distressed. And if you don't laugh, you'll cry kind of business. But I'll say it again, because this might be tampered with by the people at YouTube. 20 years ago, that's Eastbourne. Seaford Gazette, I think. Or Lewis, I don't know. That's me. When I did care work. And I tell you what, never worked harder in my life since being on severe disability. Doing other people's jobs. Thousands of pounds of back pay of severe disability has gone on these hotels which are being closed down, and you, the taxpayer, are spending millions to keep these illegals in there whilst your own people are dying on the streets. And I'm going to be one of them, because I have slept rough. I've slept rough on the edge of Beachy Head, And John Alexander Patterson said, don't kill yourself, because that is what they want. And where is he? He's been put in prison. He's been put... And I tell you what, those of you, because I believe John Patterson and I also believe Jeanette Archer, those of you who attack these brave people, you're nothing. You're just unbelievable. There are no words for it. Coward is not the word. I've got to be careful what I say, because I don't know enough about... I can't comment on other people's experiences. But those who I see actively doing something and speaking out, because my mother died doing that. Maybe that's why my mother died of a rare cancer, and she was one of the healthiest people. She was more healthy than me. She ate everything organic. She'd never tried a cigarette in her life. I've at least tried cigarettes. Didn't drink enough cigarettes, and they taste horrible. My mother didn't do any of that. She was a very, very healthy person, my mother. But she spoke out. That's what you've got to do. Fight for your freedom. And if you're so selfish, because you are, each and every one of you are complicit if you don't speak out. Everybody has a duty. Jeanette Archer is saying exactly what I've been saying for many, many years. We have a duty to the children, the other generations after us. That's why I'm still here. In the Strand Hotel. You can't see it because there are the stitches, a 6-inch knife. It went right through my arm. That hotel has now been closed down and is being used for these illegal immigrants who are coming in the thousands. And that I funded that hotel to stop myself from sleeping rough with the back pay of severe disability, because the council had illegally discharged duty to me. I'm going to put in the description what this video is about, so that anyone coming on here to see this will know what it's about. That's basically it, really. The worst thing I ever did was asking for help. The worst thing I ever did was asking for help. That's me 20 years ago when I did care work. Yeah. Thanks, social worker landlord Andy Francis. Yep. Looking like $1 million. Yep. Now I'm on severe disability. Homeless. Never worked harder in my life doing other people's jobs. And let's play that recording again, just so that this sticks in your heads. What they've done to me. 3 hours after this, I was arrested on a fraud. 3:11 in the morning.
I'm not fucking joking. I'm not fucking joking.
3 a.m. that was. 3 hours later, the police turn up. That's my 999 call, and they arrest me on a fraud. Terrified for my life. I've been attacked several times in that place. I am here for my safety. That's council accommodation. That's a raging alcoholic on a criminal tag. And she's got grown-up children, and they're speaking to her like she's a child. Oh. Me? Vulnerable me, crying, terrified. I get thugs covered in tattoos, calling themselves police officers. Sorry, let's say police constable, because that's the correct definition. It's common law. And members of the council have failed to stop and correct. Councillor Stephen Holt, Councillor Robin Maxted, and by the way, Robin, a breach of GDPR is actually when you give out a phone number. That's what Nathan Kirkton said, and he's well and truly up on the common law thing. They're the people that told me on Facebook how to write an official notice under common law. Whether it works or not, well, nothing else works, because as the welfare officer PC Ian Williams said to me in tears, "There is no system." Yeah, I know. Are complicit though if you do nothing. Each and every one of you, every single human being alive on this planet, you are responsible for you have got to speak out, every single one of you. So Jennifer Maris, the senior psychologist who said you've got to take responsibility for yourself, oh yeah, and so have you, dear, so have you. Okay, over and out, folks, because I'm still here. And as long as I'm still alive, I can't live in fear. So we just don't know what they're going to do next, because do you know who it was who arrested me? Do you know who it was who arrested me 3 hours after this? None other than PC Scott Franklin Lester, who's a known bully. The manager of Poundland said he bullies people on the streets. He arrested me 3 hours after that recording, and he was meant to be the investigating officer for her offences. PC Scott Franklin Lester Sr. and Caroline Stevens only has to click her fingers, get him out to me in the hotel that I've self-funded for my safety. And this is someone from the Truthers movement. Look her up, Caroline Stevens. She clicks her fingers, says, she's suicidal, go and check on her. But he bursts in on me while I'm half naked and says, "What are you putting on YouTube?" Trials, because I know where I'm going when I die, but a lot of people, eternity is a long time for your soul. You'll remember my face. You'll remember my face. Whenever you think of that Herald article and the evil that you've done to me, you'll remember your evil and where you're going. You'll remember. Because that was me before, and this is me now. And you've all worked together in your cozy little pathetic little club that I could have done a better job putting together when I was little. Anyway, there we are. I've said what I want to say. There we go. Thank you for watching.